You are listening to a Clarkesworld Magazine podcast. I'm your host and narrator, Kate Baker. Welcome to the last story for the month of April 2026, issue 235. I want to thank you again for supporting this magazine. I know times are really tough. I know the cost of living has skyrocketed, and I cannot thank you enough for chucking those few precious bucks our way each and every month to keep this thing going. Whether you're a subscriber, whether you've gone to patreon.com/Clarkesworld, or whether you've chucked a few bucks our way through a donation, I cannot thank you enough. I hope that we provide a much-needed escape. Our last story is titled Human Studies 401. It is by Abby Nicole Yee. Abby Nicole Yee is a Filipino neurodivergent writer born and based in Cagayan de Oro. Her work appears or is forthcoming in Clarkesworld, Strange Horizons, Penumbric, and elsewhere. A former award-winning pianist, she is currently studying creative writing at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and when not writing your problematic faves, she is eating a worrying amount of cheesy pasta, being terminally online and squinting at the world at large, along with the rest of us. And if you like what you hear, please go back to a space opera. So, my dear listener, I hope that you can sit back, relax, and let me tell you a story. Notes on specimen Efren Vargas, 1022/204.27.3. Supposed to be married to Joan de Magiba, his fiancée. Was in bed with some other woman, asterisk, a week in human time before his wedding. Asterisk, Eva, a female artificial humanoid. Warning, I suppose this contradiction is human-specific, no? I engineered Eva myself, went through all that trouble crowdsourcing organic material from all over the galactic black market in this shithole of a galaxy called Marioptera. I dropped her off through a makeshift portal to Earth. Eva moved next to Efren's apartment. You wouldn't believe the things I did for that Best Thesis award, but Efren didn't need to know if Eva acted, felt, and loved like a human. And what's the difference, really? Efren was the perfect specimen. All that trouble I had to go through, hacking the assignment system after class hours just to get him. I had to. He was the only one who had potential. He had the uncanny yet underdeveloped ability to control his own brain chemical composition. Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, vasopressin, and all the other undiscovered neurotransmitters and hormones. He was evolution in action, a far cry from everyone else who still succumbed to lizard brain urges. We were warned not to interfere, but I couldn't stop myself. Couldn't bear the thought of having some idiot win the award. My lab partner, Karki, lent me a human anatomy guide. I'd made Efren a strong enough love cocktail, and what do you know? I'd outdone myself. I sold that formula to some wealthy human historian for 2 million Clotterveps, but I knew I'd need more if I won that scholarship to Pectadi University, the neighboring galaxy's best university, and left Marioptera for good. Eva had slithered into Efren and Joan's lives as innocuously as I could have programmed her to, from over 3 light years away. The simulation of mutual tension and vulnerability, some striking coincidences and compatibilities, and the heady love cocktail that oozed out of Eva's every pore and hole. Good pheromone shit, but something more human than human. Like your deepest embarrassments disappearing in puffy clouds of glee. The recipe that would make or break Efren. He tried to resist, he really did, but in the end it was almost like he actually wanted to succumb to the artificial delirium. He threw all that potential away. Such a waste. Don't even think about wrapping it in some grand explanation. The Vadani people, as superior to humans as humans are to roaches, all agreed that humans might just become extinct if they kept this up, packaging biological urges like reproduction and companionship into a more than the sum of its parts ideal. A more advanced alien race could replace them as the dominant life forms, while they were all busy with trivialities. Love might as well take them out like a final deadly plague. Efren held out for 2 years, during which he and Eva stayed platonic. I couldn't say I was surprised, though. I had that formula down. But some small part of me actually rooted for him. I thought that since he could rein in his chemical slug for a brain, he'd be able to override my experiment and be the better man. I guess not. Not with that glazed, smug look on his face after he and Eva consummated with what had been a violent 2-year simmer. But 2 years was quite impressive, if you asked me. I had to test his limits. Eva was, by all Vadani accounts, Clarkie's friends, who'd studied human aesthetics and physiognomy, the perfect human woman. My advisor, Dr. Juldegov, cautioned me against this, playing God when he found out. It's egregiously unethical, Hecromona. I just shrugged. I had access to Ephron's dreams, the unfiltered manifestations of his subconscious. Humans had that weirdo hermit, Jung, who said dreams were the brain's natural language. Or was it that drama queen, Freud, who made everyone paranoid about repressed wishes from their dream content? Well, it hardly mattered now because aside from decoding neural activity matrices to chemically overload his brain, I'd managed to unspool every single fiber from the simulated neural tapestry of all that is true and unapologetically Ephron himself. All his fears and desires, his most private and latent and inscrutable, throbbing and surging to the surface like blood pulsing through a constricted vein. I'd been around and I'd seen some weird shit, but they're nothing compared to Ephron's mind. And that's when it occurred to me. When you give a human exactly what his subconscious wants and more, what do you expect? When you dangle it in front of him, he'll drop everything, de-evolve and pounce like a crazed predator. Humans have it really bad. Reality is guaranteed to be a haze of boring and predictable and senseless, and when you give them divine meaning, not even the most repressed could resist. It's actually quite amusing in a train wreck kind of way. Ephron craved meaning and beauty to fill up the void left by just enough consciousness and the lack of complete control over his primordial DNA. Eva was the stuff of dreams engineered from the source. Ephron's muddled subconscious. When I gave him the ultimate drug, he was never going back. Not when he could no longer tell dreams from reality. Ephron would leave Joan, his girlfriend of 9 years and fiancée of 1, because of love. Undo humanity's first stirrings of evolutionary progress in a long time because of love. Eva would be his and he would be Eva's. And I won best thesis. 400 human years later, humanity was extinct. The Vadani government detonated a chemical love bomb on Earth designed from my own research. We didn't even have to lift a deadly finger. They just withered away, indefinitely high in love with no come down, no purpose, and bizarrely fascinating brain signatures until they all starved. Whereas it took Ephron 2 years to succumb to the effects, it took no time at all for the rest of humanity. Like putting animals to sleep. It's too bad, though. They were just beginning to progress technologically, such that they became a threat. Humans were a dispensable, potentially parasitic species anyway. We had to get rid of them for the safety of our people. Except for Ephron. I still keep him alive in a jar on my desk. A keepsake from my short time as a student in Mardioptera. One time I caught him mouthing, Eva. Eva. No sound coming out from his long, rotten but preserved vocal cords. He had the euphoric look of love. What are your thoughts on the story? You can send me an email. I'm kate@clarkesworldmagazine.com. I enjoy every single email that you all send, so thank you so much. It really brightens my day. Thank you for taking the time to do so. We have a new month of stories coming to you for the month of May. I do hope you'll come and join us. And until then, I bid you a very fond and hopefully very temporary farewell.